is your best choice.
Like they say in life, everything has a beginning and an end. And so Newcastle's dream run, which really exceeded reality, the reality of the fans, and even Pardue himself has come to an end at the home of City, where they've lost by 3-1. City scored twice from the penalty spots through Balotelli and later on Aguero, and they also had a goal through Micah Richards. Gosling managed to pull one back for Newcastle, meaning that the game ended 3-1. And City now have an amazing 34 points from maximum 36. And the question is, can anyone stop the City juggernauts? Can anyone stop City?
That would be a difficult one. I mean, the way they are playing and the way they're going, it will be difficult to stop them.
Okay, but Newcastle gave it their all.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. City made them look ordinary. You know, they've not been beaten.
Yeah.
And so I thought probably they were going to, you know, push City into the war, but they were not able to do that.
They weren't able to do it. And Pardue himself perhaps put the nail in his own coffin with those remarks he made about getting 2 points from their 3 difficult games. What positives can City take from the performance? No, can Newcastle take from the performance? Yeah.
2 goals that win were penalties, and they got a consolation. So take away the penalties, it's 1-1. Newcastle came forward a bit more in the second half. They had to. Demba Ba wasn't left up on his own so much, and as you saw, and as you predicted, I guess he was very involved in the goal for Gosling at the end and battled on. Our man Ben Arthur, fantastic.
Brilliant
First half a little bit anonymous. Second half, when he got the ball in his feet, he worried the City defence.
And he managed to avoid De Jong the whole game.
Absolutely, he must have been a little scared. I'd be a little scared on the pitch of De Jong. But, you know, Ben Arthur is something great today. And Sami Amiobi as well, on the right wing, looked confident, very young, vibrant, and able to go past.
Were you a bit surprised that Shola wasn't brought in to contribute something to the game? Because we've seen what he can do.
Maybe he's coming back from injury. Maybe they don't want to risk it. You know, if the losses are inevitable, why risk a player when you can just give him that extra week's rest so that he can come back next week? Hopefully Best will come in for them as well. Remember, they're missing Best, who was fantastic for them the whole season. So I mean, there's some things to take away. They weren't expecting a win. They only lost by 2 goals. And Man City, well, maybe they should have scored a few more.
Yeah, and for Newcastle, they come up against United next. That will be here on Multi-TV. And then after they play Chelsea, do you think their slide down the table is about to begin?
Probably. This is going to be the test for them for the week. I mean, the coming weeks, we'll really see their strength.
But perhaps they can look at it this way. Even United conceded 6 against City. So in a sense,
every match is totally different.
Okay.
And they have to be focused on themselves and what they can do, where is their strength. And again, it depends on how they play. You know, it's going to be a very big test for them in the coming weeks. So
finally, United play Swansea in a few minutes. They are 8 points behind City. How do they keep themselves motivated?
Well, they have to. Of course, their goal is to win the league, and therefore it is demanded that in every match they will perform and win. And so at the end of the season, we'll see.
Okay, and closing remarks on Newcastle, City?
Look, let me just talk about Newcastle quickly.
Okay.
At the beginning of the season, with the small signings that they did, no one expected them to be where they are at the moment. Yeah. Right now, I think they're on 25 points. The safety mark, they say in the Premier League, is around that 40 point. And at the beginning, they'll be looking at that, well, we don't want to go down again. We must stay in the Premier League. Let's forget about the higher echelons of the league. So they're 15 points from safety. See it in a different way, see it positively. They are going to be in the top half of the table this season. They have a good defence. Stephen Taylor today was brilliant. Colaccini, a couple of mistakes, but also looked strong in certain situations, especially up against Yaya Toure, the giant, and saw him out to the wing a few times. There are positives to take. Man City, difficult to beat, but there are a few weaknesses.
There are chinks in the armour.
Yeah, and when you can attack them, you have an opportunity. As you saw today, there was a few attempts in the second half by Newcastle. There are some opportunities, as you saw at QPR as well.
Okay. So there you have it. City remain on top of the league, flying high. They will be in Champions League action against Napoli on Tuesday. We'll see how they do there. And for City, I guess it's for Newcastle United rather. It's back to the drawing board. The fun is over. The joyride is over. Now they get to play the real teams in the English Premier League. And speaking of real teams, Man United will play Newcastle next week, Saturday, at the same time. So before we run out of the studios, I'll just give you the scores. Arsenal beat Norwich 2-1. Everton drew 1-1 with Wolves. Man City beat Newcastle United 3-1. Stoke City, they were involved in a thriller against Queen's Park Rangers and they lost 3-2. Queen's Park Rangers have a habit of playing in 3-2 games. Sunderland drew 0-0 with Fulham. West Brom overcame Bolton 2-1. Wigan beat Blackburn 3-2. So Blackburn will now sit proudly at the bottom of the table. And in a few minutes' time, Swansea City will attempt to prevent United from closing the gap on City to 5 points. So I was here with Sam, Polley, and CK. It's great to always have you here. Yeah. And my name is Hansen, Joseph Hansen. You've been watching the English Premier League live here on Joy Sports and Adum TV on Multi TV. Remember that we'll be back next week, Saturday.